The game can be kind of strict about what types of lots you can open businesses on. And I don't even just mean the ones from businesses and hobbies. I'm talking about things like vets and retail stores and the residential rentals. There are a lot of places in the game that you can't build them. For example, it was kind of a shock with For Rent when you couldn't make residential rentals in a few places in San Myshuno and in Sulani. So when businesses and hobbies came out, I was kind of expecting to have the same experience. I kind of just figured that you wouldn't be able to make small businesses in some places. But I was very pleasantly surprised to discover that I was actually wrong about that. In fact, you can even make small businesses inside of the apartments in San Myshuno. And this is like the number one place that I expected to not work. I guess I kind of figured because it's not like a normal lot, it's like a weird interior sort of lot that you wouldn't be able to do it. But I was wrong. You can make small businesses inside of these apartments, and so that's what I want to do today. I've kind of invented this storyline of a sim who teaches music classes inside of their apartment. So the sims who come here will attend classes and lectures, they'll listen to music, they'll play instruments, and I want to try and build it here in what I would consider to be my favorite apartment in the entire game. It's unfortunately a needs TLC apartment, so it's just like a little bit stinky. It's got a little bit of a rodent problem. You'll experience frequent gas leaks, the breaker box will like break and catch on fire, but it's big and it also has a balcony, and that's like the number one bonus from it. And what I think I'm gonna do is try to figure out a way to have the music classes on this side, and then we can maybe separate over here to have a couple of bedrooms, a bedroom and an office or something, a big bathroom. The living space can kind of be like this, and then hopefully the customers will just access these two areas. I'm not really selling it right now with like this weird layout with all the furniture, but can you picture it? I think it's a cool concept. I'm kind of excited to test it out. It's definitely gonna be a little bit stinky inside, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think stinky in like a cool and lived in sort of way. This is the sim I made named Otis. They have the master mentor aspiration, they're a music lover, high maintenance, and also cringe. And I'm picturing that a lot of the stuff inside of this apartment is probably thrifted. I want to have a lot of like jewel tones, oranges, browns, that sort of color scheme. Maybe a little bit of a 70s vibe inside in what is probably a pretty old building that's dealing with like some mold issues, but that's not Otis's fault. That's the landlord's fault, you know? And like Otis probably doesn't have the nicest, fanciest bed, but you know who does? Me. Thanks to the sponsor of this video, Helix. I'm sorry. That was a really cringe segue. If you've been following my channel for a bit, you probably already know that I am a huge fan of Helix. I actually have 2 Helix mattresses in this house because I bought one about 3 years ago for my bedroom, and recently we just upgraded and got one for our guest room too because we liked it so much. It is still just so cool to me that Helix wanted to work with me because I bought a Helix mattress off of a YouTube ad from a different creator a few years ago, and I've been like a genuine fan of this brand for so long. When you think about it, my mattress is probably like my most used item in my house. But if you're not familiar with Helix, they make premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and shipped directly to your door. They've got this sleep quiz on their website where you can answer a few questions about you and how you sleep, and then they can match you with the best mattress model to fit your needs and your preferences. I feel like it can be a little bit intimidating picking out a mattress, so it's a really nice tool to help you find out what's best for you. And when you buy a Helix mattress, it comes with a 100-night sleep trial, so you can really test it out and ensure that it's the right fit for you. Hello. Okay, this one likes the mattress too, by the way. My cats all sleep on my bed with me. My parents have a pretty old, not Helix mattress that they've been using for a really long time, and they actually just got a new mattress topper for it from the new Helix mattress topper collection. So if you're maybe not in the market for a whole new mattress, but you do want to make your current mattress a little bit better and more comfortable, you can check out their new mattress toppers. My parents really love theirs, and it is a great way to upgrade your existing mattress. So make sure you check out helixsleep.com/lilsimsie. They've got a special Memorial Day offer on right now, and the website is 27% off site-wide, and you can get a free bedding bundle with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. That is such a good deal. So this really is a great time to upgrade your mattress. Like I said, I'll have that link down below for you in case you want to check it out. Thank you again to Helix for sponsoring this video and also for helping me to get a good night's sleep for the past few years. And let's get back into The Sims. Okay, we're back, and now I want to jump into the speed build and kind of start walking you through what the place looks like and what I built. Okay, first things first, I went through and I deleted everything inside the apartment. I got rid of all the furniture. I painted all the walls and floors with kind of like a blank slate clear color. I obviously don't intend to keep this really weird gray carpet. I just kind of wanted to have a nice clean starting point. I also added a ton more lighting in this place because one of the things that the default apartments really struggle with is just how dark all of them are. I always hate that about EA builds, so that's like the number one thing I always want to change. And then I kind of tried to think about the floor plan. So just like I explained to you before, that little front section is going to be public access. So the Sims are going to be able to come in, they can go into the kitchen, they can get into the bathroom, and they can also use that room in one of the back corners. That's going to be like our music room space over there. And then the other side is going to have a bedroom, an office, and of course the balcony. I didn't really want the Sims that are coming in here as customers to like access all of my house. I wanted them to just access a couple spaces in the house if I could. I don't really like it when the customers leave mess everywhere when I'm running small businesses, and I don't want them to like use my computer and break it. So I tried to have a couple areas that are like sectioned off that they can't get to, but if they need to, they can like grab some water from the fridge, and they can of course use the toilet and everything. I also, and I tried to warn you in advance, I used a couple of kind of ugly things inside of this apartment, but I think that they're ugly in a way that is stylish and interesting. Because, for example, this linoleum floor, I would not normally choose. It's one that I have never really used before today. It's really not my favorite floor in the game, but I think that it's realistic for a space like this. It makes sense for this older apartment. The color scheme kind of works, and we want to have almost like some kind of gross bones to the apartment, but like really furnish it nicely with like cool thrifted pieces that Otis would have found. I'm trying to tell a story. So even if I don't personally love some of the stuff, I love the story that it tells. Does that make sense? Sometimes I do stuff like this and I get comments or like messages in my Twitch chat that are like, oh my God, it's so ugly, you have to change it. And I'm like, yeah, well, I think it's not the best, but what does Otis think about it? Because this is Otis's apartment. And this is where the fun stuff starts coming in, because I'm gonna start trying to add some more color in with the dining table. I used my favorite rug from Cats and Dogs, that kind of cool like woven rug, and it's got a mixture of different folding chairs that I am picturing as being thrifted in a few different colors. So it kind of adds in some more like peachy tones. There's oranges and reds. The rug has like some really nice deep blue colors. That's where the jewel tone thing comes in. There's some bright yellow flowers and a little red vase on top of the table. I hung up like some fancy LED lights to try and bring some more color in here. Otis also miraculously has a $1,000 trash can inside of the kitchen because I wanted to put the money trash can in here. I don't know if that part makes the most sense thematically, but we can just pretend that it does. We can just pretend that it's fine. Another kind of cool trick that I did in this space is I took one of those tiny living pictures and I sized it up, and then I deleted the wall behind it so that I could kind of custom place something else. And I used the dine out picture. This is like a dine out breakfast picture, and I put it in front of the tiny living portrait, and that way it kind of looks like that picture has a fancy custom frame. I don't know if I explained that very well, but basically the reason I had to delete the wall behind it is because I needed the picture from dine out to be like a little bit further forward. If it slots to the wall, it's hidden behind the tiny living one, but if I delete the wall, then I can kind of custom place it to pull it forward a little bit so it looks like it's on the wall, but it's not actually slotted to the wall in game. And it's just kind of a way to upgrade the artwork and also make it match a little bit better. It makes it look a little bit more custom inside of the room. You can do that with any of the art in the game. It's just sometimes hard to find stuff that looks like it fits within these other frames. So it can take some trial and error to figure it out in a way that is cool, but I think it worked really well inside of this room. I also put some kind of cool beaded curtains in front of the door to the classroom, and I put the big LED light over it too, because then it kind of looks like that part is the business. Inside of the classroom, we needed to have a couple of things for it to be functional. I wanted to make sure that Otis could use this space to teach both piano and guitar lessons. So we needed to have multiple of each of those items in the room within the border of the whiteboard. So if you see any weird lines in the living room, like a weird light gray sort of transparent line, that is just the border of the whiteboard. It's not a big deal. It's not visible in live mode. You can see it in build mode though, just because it helps you to visualize where the whiteboard can affect. It took me a little bit to figure out the layout of this room. At first I was thinking desks. I was thinking it'd be kind of cute to have like a little fake stage. I was experimenting a lot with where the pianos should go. I went back and forth and changed my mind a lot in this room. It's just not very big, and I had a long list of things that I wanted to add. The only thing that I was sure about was that rug from Strangerville. I put that rug down and I was like, okay, this is like the #1 inspo in this room. Then I have that kind of cool thrifted looking chair from Eco Lifestyle and a couple of cute bean bags in a couple different colors. Those bean bags beanbag chairs are from university or maybe high school years. Oh no. One of the school packs, I can't remember. There's also some kind of cool musical decor for businesses and hobbies, so I used the pictures on the wall and also like the cool shadow boxes that have instruments inside of them. I love the idea of that, although I do feel like it's taunting us just a little bit because we have this like saxophone hung up on the wall, but there's no actual one in the game that your Sims can play. We still only have the guitar, the violin, and the piano as instrument skills in this game. I know we've talked a lot about wanting drums in The Sims 4. That's like one of the main things that gets brought up all the time about future skills to get added to the game, but I would love to have more instruments in general. Cause I don't know, what about like a harp or maybe like a flute? The possibilities are endless. There are so many things that would be cool for them to add for future instruments. Personally, I possess zero musical talent, so I am the wrong person to be sat here trying to give out ideas. But long story short, I would love to have some more instruments in The Sims 4. Now, across from that like cutesy little seating area that I just decorated for Otis, I also put kind of a cool gallery wall of posters. There are a couple posters in this game that have instruments on them. There's a couple poster sets from high school years that are just kind of colorful and fun. I put a pride flag, I put some banners, we have some records hung up on the wall and a bunch of pretty fairy lights in here. And I think that this room kind of helps you to get the vibe a little bit more for the kind of stuff that Otis likes. There's a lot of mix of wood paneling and also brick inside of this space. And then I was trying to figure out if I wanted to have a ticket kiosk or not. And I was really going back and forth a lot with this because I know that in The Sims 4, you want a ticket kiosk because you make so much more money that way. To not have a ticket kiosk is kind of just throwing money away because your Sims will pay to come into the building and they'll pay for your services. But realistically, there wouldn't be a ticket kiosk inside of this little tiny apartment because in real life, this is probably the kind of thing where Otis like meets customers through like a friend of a friend and they come by for piano lessons on the weekend. It's very like side hustle, like small business kind of thing. At least that's kind of how I'm picturing it working. I have thought way too much about this sim. I have like invented this whole story as if they are a real person. But they just wouldn't have a ticket kiosk, so I ended up not using one. I think if you were to play here, you might want to swap it out and have a ticket kiosk, but for my purposes, I did not include one. I did put some more LED lights. I've got like a lava lamp in here. I put the cork board above the piano because I feel like maybe they post stuff about like events they're doing. I feel like Otis also probably performs at like a bunch of local events and stuff too, so maybe they want to advertise them inside of their room. There's a couple boxes of records that come in the basement clutter kit, I think. Sometimes I get these kits confused, but I used a couple of those record boxes in there, although I did have to move them later on when I went through to playtest it because you gotta be kind of careful about what you put in front of the whiteboard and where you put it because they have to stand in front of it, and if there's anything blocking it, they don't want to teach their classes. So I did actually have to delete those records later on. That kind of covers the whole left side of the apartment, and we're now moving into the living room space. The key things in here were obviously that Strangerville rug in just a different swatch. We have a record player and like a box of records. I also used the bubble blower from City Living, and that's one of those things that honestly I kind of forget even exists. It's not something that I use all that frequently in my gameplay. I very rarely put it in my builds. Like I don't know, I need to be better about using this item. So I made sure I put it in the corner, and I put 2 different chairs there, like 2 different style chairs in different colors, again to try and have that like thrifted sort of vibe. And it's sort of just tucked in the back corner in front of a bookshelf. There's like a plant next to it. Hopefully you can kind of see the vision coming together now. I realize the colors are a bit strange, but hopefully it all comes together in the end. I did use the LED sign from my kit so much in this apartment. I also have quite the mix of wood tones. There's a lot of like orangey colored wood tones mixed with some darker ones. That's not always my favorite thing. In general, I also don't really like orangey wood tones that much. It's just not really my preference, but I think it fits for the vibes of this place. I also put this really huge bookshelf that is like so full of books in here. I think Otis is definitely a reader and like probably only reads classics, you know? They probably frequent used bookstores. They probably have like some really good ones in the city as well. God, I love trying to tell these stories and like making up these theories for Sims. Me like trying to visualize what the used bookstores in San Myshuno probably look like. Now I want to build one. Now I want to go make a used bookstore. Okay, wait, imagine this. Maybe Otis has a partner that owns and runs some like cool used bookstore or coffee shop somewhere in San Myshuno. I think I might build that next. And they met because Otis is like a really frequent customer. They're there every morning. I love the story of that. I think I'm actually gonna do it. Let me know if you want to see that or if I'm just like projecting, because this might just be a me thing. I did kind of struggle with the layout of this room. You can kind of see me trying to figure out where I wanted to put everything. At first I had the sofa and everything centered in between those two doors, but it was a little bit too tight. And I also eventually kind of liked it being off center. Not that it being off center is good, because it's kind of weird looking when it's off center, but I think that adds some charm to the apartment. Like, it's nice that they have this weird off-center fireplace. I think you see that kind of thing a lot in real life as well, so I tried to do it here. We've painted the fireplace orange. It's up against this cute wood paneling. There's like a little side table with some music playing on it. That small room to our left is going to become the bathroom, and then back behind us, we have, like I was saying earlier, an office and also a bedroom. I really like how big this apartment is, because if you wanted to, you could totally have like another sim living here. There could be like a roommate situation. Otis could have kids living here, but we don't really have anyone else in the household except for our cats. So instead we just have like an office space back there. I did kind of toy with the idea of having this room blocked off so that customers couldn't come in here, but with how I laid out the floor plan, they need to get in here to access the bathroom. So they do have to go through this area. Unfortunately, the customers can watch our TV. Hopefully they don't like break anything in here. I put a bright orange wall phone next to the bathroom door. I have like a couple little awards. I was thinking about the idea of Otis maybe having won some awards for teaching. I found a fish to put on the wall. I don't think Otis caught that fish. I think they probably thrifted it somewhere. And then inside of the office, the first thing I put down was a cat tree, because I was very excited about wanting to have some stuff for the cats. And then I really wanted to have the juice fizzing station from Eco Lifestyle. Again, I was trying to think about what I don't normally use and like the story of who Otis is. And I think that they probably would like home make a bunch of fancy drinks. Maybe they kind of sell that on the side too. Maybe they have like a collection of side hustles they're doing. And I never, ever, ever find places to put that thing. So I really tried to use it in here. We've got a small little computer desk off to the side. There's like an AC unit on the wall, lava lamps, like cute cork boards, you know, all that kind of stuff. I struggled a lot with how to lay the room out just because of how big the juice fizzing thing is. It was very hard to find where I wanted to put it. Again, there's a reason that I don't normally use that thing in my Sims builds. It's just so hard to place. Same goes for the cat tree, honestly. It's not my favorite item. I love the idea of cat trees, but every time I put them somewhere, I give this like caveat of like, yeah, I know it doesn't look that good, but I did like the brown with the florals. I think the brown florals really match the vibes of the whole apartment, so I did use them in here. That cute little radio looking thing that I just put on the desk is from the Everyday Clutter Kit, and it looks like a pencil holder, but it also has speakers on it, so it's great for the desk. I wanted to have a lot of music across the entire apartment, obviously, given this sim is a music teacher. But that's the whole of the office space done. We're gonna move into the apartment bathroom really quickly. And the only thing that I knew going into this is that I wanted it to have really ugly tile. But aside from that, I didn't really have a plan. Parenthood has that kind of cool shower tub combo with really nice curtain colors. So I wanted to use a funky sort of colorful shower curtain at first. Then I kind of toyed with the idea of just having a plain bathtub and like having a separate shower. I didn't really like the look of it, so I went back to the colorful shower curtain idea. Every time I use that thing, I always think about how badly I want to have more shower tub combos with shower curtains. We have a handful of shower tub combos in the game. There's two that are like tile with a glass door, and there's two that have curtains. This one's like kind of built in with a curtain, and the other one is like fancy. It's like a clawfoot tub with the circle shaped curtain. This shower that I am using in this bathroom is like standard to me. That is like the most shower looking shower you could possibly get. I know it's very regional and it kind of depends where you grew up, but at least here in Florida and like in a lot of places in America, we have these like really tiny tubs. Like sometimes tub is a strong word for what we have in these bathrooms, but it is still technically a tub. And then they have like the shower built in. You have to use a shower curtain. My bathroom growing up had that. My bathroom in this house has that. It's like so normal to me to have like a standard looking shower with a curtain. To me, like a walk-in shower with like a glass door is really fancy and like really nice. So I wish that we had another thing like this. I would love to have some more shower curtains. Also in this bathroom, I put a lot of like rug stuff on the floor. We have the kind of messy towels from the bathroom clutter kit. We've got a little sink in here with Polaroid pictures hanging up on the mirror above it. I think in real life, those rugs would be really gross. Like, this is not really a public bathroom because it's obviously inside of Otis's house, but also all of the customers use this bathroom. So there are like a lot of people coming and going from in here, and there's rugs on the floor. Ew. Stepping on them with like their outside shoes because they're probably not taking their shoes off. It kind of freaks me out. I also made sure I put a hairdryer in there and like one of those electric razors because Otis has really beautiful long hair and also a fancy beard. So I wanted to make sure they had stuff to like trim it and everything. And then this last room inside is the bedroom. A lot of funky colors and lots of fancy rugs. I was really trying to figure out what kind of rug I wanted to do to fit the vibes of the others, and I settled for this one from Growing Together. I also changed out the door because the default door that was going to the patio from here, I really did not like. I know that it matches the other apartments. Like if you zoom out from afar and you like look at the stack of all the balconies on the outside of the building, they all have the same tiny ugly brown door. And I can't do it. I don't like it, I can't do it, so I deleted it and I put this instead. And I tried to cover it with curtains, so I don't really like the white of it either, but all of the interior windows have white trim on this building. They have more of a brown trim on the outside, but not on the inside, so I was trying to figure out a way to make it work still. Put another LED sign above the bed, and then I found a kind of cool picture from Love Struck, and I put that above the little dresser table on the side. I've got loads more fairy lights. I keep using those ones from the free holiday pack instead of the ones that came out in Businesses and Hobbies. I think it's just out of habit because we've had these for a lot longer, but I haven't really used the new Businesses and Hobbies fairy lights as much as I should be, because in the new pack we got loads of new fairy light shapes, so you can kind of custom make your own situation, and I just haven't been using them that much. Somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, why do you never use those? And I was like, I don't know, actually. There's just so much in this game now that it's easy to forget that stuff exists. So it's not like you're trying not to use them. It's just like, you know, you thought of using something else instead, and then you kind of forgot the other ones were even there. But anyway, in here we have a really fancy, really nice upright piano. We've got like a salt lamp, there's some more lava lamps. I put a basket of yarn because I think Otis definitely knits. I feel like they definitely are quite crafty. We also have an extra guitar and a violin in here. There's not a violin in the other room, I'm pretty sure. I didn't put any violins, but I think Otis probably still knows how to play. And you can see I struggled so much with what to put underneath the window and like how this corner was gonna get laid out. I was trying to put an ottoman, I had a chair, I had like different dresser things. I didn't like how the curtains fit with them. So I went back and forth literally nonstop about that corner. I was way overthinking it. In the end, I think it's fine. I don't know. I have a tendency to get really hung up on little things like that don't matter that much. And obviously when it's sped up, you can't tell, but I spent way too long stressing about that corner in real time. I was like way overthinking it. Lastly, in that room, I put a couple of cat toys because Otis has 2 cats, and then we came outside to work on this little balcony. I did use some of the fairy lights over here. These are not the ones I was just telling you about from Businesses and Hobbies. Those are actually from the little campers kit. They're like ones that hang up from the ceiling. So I sized them up and kind of wrapped them around the balcony. I also put a grill out here. We have one of the woohoo blankets from Love Struck with like a little picnic basket on it. I put some planter boxes because if they're gonna be making juice on the juice fizzing station, I thought it would be kind of cool to have some planter boxes to grow ingredients that you could then juice. I also used one of those bars from Get Together that has like pretty fairy lights on it. And I did test it to make sure they could get around the back side of it because it's pretty tight back here. So I wanted to make sure it still worked. And then lastly, I wanted to put a little table. So we have just kind of like a cute folding table with folding chairs out there. It's very tight on this balcony. It does work though, like I said, and I think it's realistic for it to be tight back here. The whole apartment is very cluttered. Like the furniture is everywhere. It takes up a lot of space. I did put a bike back here. I put some like stains on the floor and also some pipes, and that just about covers the entire apartment. So what I want to do now is pop back into the game real time and show you a tour of the finished product. I know it can be kind of hard to follow because it's like zooming around so much, but as a reminder, we're in this apartment, the Needs TLC one from San Myshuno that has the balcony on it. I'm just gonna delete all of the the walls real quick just to be safe, and all the furniture that goes out here as well. If you get it off the gallery, you're looking for music school apartment, and I did build this in March. So you might have to scroll a little bit, but you can filter by rooms on my gallery and it might make it a little bit easier to find, because to place these San Myshuno apartments, you have to place them as rooms instead of as like a lot, because there's no way to upload apartments to the gallery. But you just grab the room, you place it down in the right space, and weirdly the game is gonna think that it's all one room. So when you click on it, it's like all one room. You just need to redraw a couple of the walls to like separate that out. So if I were you, just draw on 1 or 2 walls in front of those rooms. Unfortunately, and I'm so sorry about this, you do have to just put the wallpaper back, and then make sure you set the right spaces to be public versus residential, like how this needs to be public, and then you're all good to go. So here's a quick little tour of the interior. You're gonna walk in through this door. When you come in, I put like some bags and some mail hung up by the door. We have our pet bowls right here. There's a light switch and some umbrellas by the door. We have the kitchen back this way with some kind of cool like dark appliances. There's a couple of bar stools and also a really cute dining table. This is like my favorite angle of the house. I really like how the chairs look all together in here. There are a couple things like these pipes and also this fuse box that you literally can't move. Like those are stuck there. So I tried to embrace them. I also put some things like some little moldy bits on the floor next to it. And then if you come in here, this is the other public space of the apartment. Ooh. There's a book on the floor. So when you first walk in, there's like a guitar in the corner, some awards on the wall. We have the cork board and one of the pianos. There's kind of a cute little sitting area with like a bookshelf. There's an incense burner. I used a couple of the poof items from my kit, like the kind of cute food ones. We have some more guitars over here. We've got this really cool gallery wall with some more pianos and more guitars. And then this whiteboard is fully functional. So if you wanted to teach classes, it's fully set up for it to have both guitar and piano in this room. Of course, the business has to be actually open in order to do it, but we have enough stuff to be able to run that out of this room. Over here, we have the living room area, which again is pretty tight, but we've got like a TV. There's a cute fireplace with candles in it. There's 2 separate music players in this room, a bunch of bookshelves. We have the bubble blower thing. Lots of items that I don't normally go for as well, like the Apple clock and everything. This is the bathroom. Oops. Again, weird room stuff. It's fine when you download it off the gallery, but when you place the rooms back, it gets a little bit buggy. This is what the bathroom looks like. Don't worry, we do have a litter box in here, plus some laundry in this room. All the way on this side, this is the office area. It's got some kind of cool like pink and orange light in this area, plus a bunch of skill building stuff. And then lastly, we have the primary bedroom with some more skill building stuff and some more funky light. And then we have the balcony out back. I did add like a couple little cat toys and some plants around. I was having a good time with this, but that covers the entire apartment. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I really, really like this space. I had fun building it. I think it has a lot of personality, and I really like the sim as well. So if you want to download them too, you can get them off the gallery. They're uploaded with their 2 cats, Milo and Murphy. Huge thank you again to Helix for sponsoring today's video. They've got a big deal on right now for Memorial Day. You can get 27% off site-wide and a free bedding bundle with any Luxe or Elite mattress purchase. So make sure you go to helixsleep.com/lilsimsie and check that out. I'm gonna have that link down below for you as well. And if you liked this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of Sims builds here on YouTube, and I actually built this one over on my Twitch channel first. So you know what? I'll link that down below for you too. My name is just lilsimsie over there. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. It's always kind of embarrassing when I post one of these speed builds that I built like 2 months ago, but I've been saving it for a rainy day. More so, I just posted like way too many small business builds in a row, so I was trying to like get some space after the pack came out.